Suicide. Georgia Bureau of Investigation Director provided details about evidence found at the shooter's home.
Search warrant executed at the residence of the shooter revealed written documentation that expressed the shooter's discontent with the COVID-19 vaccinations.
30-year-old Patrick Joseph White opened fire at the CDC last Friday, killing a black police officer. Beyonce is officially an Emmy Award winner for her work in the 2024 NFL halftime show performance. Get BIN News now on the iHeartRadio app.
This year marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina changed our city and our schools forever. New Schools for New Orleans is sharing After the Storm, a special series reflecting on the past 2 decades of change and progress in public education. Through videos, personal stories, and a powerful interactive timeline and data dashboard, we explore how our schools recovered, transformed, grew, and what that progress means for our students today. Discover the videos, data, resources, and stories behind the 20 years of change at newschoolsforneworleans.org/Katrina20.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Thursday. Welcome to the Good Morning Show. I am your host, Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. Shout out to my super producer, Nyron Sanders, and my co-host, Will Sutton.
Good morning, New Orleans.
If y'all see somebody occupying another chair who happens to have the same face as me, that is my child, my womb fruit, the one and only Cameron. Hey, Cam.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
All right. Y'all heard so much about him. He is here.
I am real. I'm real.
I know. Like, listen, this is such a treat. I'm excited to have my son on air this morning. Son, say good morning to your grandmother. She's listening.
Good morning, Mama.
She's listening. So look, it was a rough morning for me, Will, getting here.
Yeah.
I had to take a whole nother route to get to the station. So this one is all on me. Our show is late this morning because I got here late, but I'm here. And I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to have my son here. We're going to talk about all of the things. And son, feel free to chime in whenever you feel like it. Like,
gotcha.
If it's something you want to talk about, just go ahead on and chime in.
Yeah.
But right now, we're going to open up with the forum.
Yeah.
There was a sheriff's forum. What's that at George's Auditorium?
That was
Dillon
George's
University?
Auditorium. This was the IWO.
IWO.
They have the forum last night, part 1. They have forum again tonight, part 2. Last night we heard from sheriff candidates. We heard from clerk candidate, from the candidates for the 2 at-large positions. We also heard from the Council District A candidates. Am I missing somebody?
No, I
think that's it.
Yeah,
I think that's
so
it.
I tuned in on the stream.
Yep.
And I was able to. They were flying through the seats, because I think it was like an opening 3 questions and a close.
Yep.
They were
So
flying.
they had it on a clockwork thing.
Yeah.
And so it was. You're right. I mean, it's basically you got a couple minutes to open. You're going to have each of you going to have the same 3 questions, and you're going to have 2 minutes to close, and then you're done, up for the next one.
And somebody else coming to sit in your seat.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what stuck out for me as it pertains to the sheriff's seat. There's been a lot of, for lack of a different word, people call it attacks, but there have been a lot of digs toward the incumbent, the current sheriff. And Bill, his name Bill or Bob? Is his name Bill? Murray.
Merrill. Yeah.
Murray.
Bob. Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's been very theatrical in his digs.
Yes,
and so the response from Sharon Susan Hudson that stood out for me, I was actually eating. My son and I were eating at the table.
I had the same response. I know what you're going to say. And
I literally, I literally leaned in. I said, wait, what? She stood up and said, and I think it was during her close, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
She stood up and said, if there was more incompetent leadership, if it wasn't him, I don't know who it would be. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Because she's always been so diplomatic, as you would say. I think
she just raised the point. It's like, enough of this. Because they're going to the different forums and they're seeing each other and hearing the things. And so they kind of know what the other candidate's going to say.
But they didn't know she was going to say that.
But they didn't know that one.
They didn't know she was going to say that because I didn't know. I was midway into, I think I was eating a wing. I was midway into biting a wing. I said, wait, what? It got me so much. The moment I got on the phone with a friend of mine, that's the first thing I said. I said, AP, you heard what? So maybe we've reached the point of, let's go toe to toe.
Yeah.
Because if this is what we're going to do, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
Because, here's the thing. She got to fight back, though, right?
She got to fight back.
She
wants the job.
You want to keep your job.
Right.
You don't have to fight back.
Yep.
But again, it was the at-large race, Delisha Boyd and
But before you move
Matt
away
Willard.
from that,
Go ahead,
and tell me if you have seen the same thing, because I've now seen the sheriff candidates at different forums, including yours. Yeah. And there is basically two themes. It's Sheriff Hudson saying, I am competent, I am knowledgeable, I am experienced. Here's what really happens. These people have no idea what's going on in your jail or the sheriff's office. And then the other side is basically the other candidates saying it's a lack of leadership, and that's why we've had these incidents like the jailbreak, and not addressing some of the things that she points to off the top of her head with dollar amounts and things that have been fixed and need to be fixed, and the consent order and that kind of thing. So that seems to be the basic split. Well, for those of you all haven't looked in on it. So it's about her challenges is about, we need a leadership change.
Well, let me say this. I think two things can coexist, right? Because what happens with leadership is, heavy is the head that wears the crown. When the good things happen, she's going to undoubtedly, they're going to tell their hat to her. When the bad things happen, whether she was directly responsible or because she's the boss, she's still going to get the heat from the bad things happening. I will venture off to say that no matter who is at the helm, if a jailbreak happens, the way that the sheriff is saying it happened, it could possibly happen. Yeah. Because what the sheriff said is nobody can get out of that facility without help.
Right.
So if you are the head of a facility and somebody's helping somebody escape out of your jail, that is possible no matter who the leader is. You just have to take the lick because you're the leader.
Right.
So two things can be true. She could very well be competent, but that happening could happen to anybody. Is it fair game to say? Absolutely it is. It's fair. She's the leader.
Yep.
It's fair game to say. And it's also fair game to say all of these people are theorizing what they would do. I'm the only person with practical understanding of what there is to do. Because I even heard a shot go towards Michelle Woodfork.
Yep.
I don't know if you were listening to it, but somebody said being a cop or having the knowledge of being a cop, that's not what the jail is about. It takes more than having that experience. I know somebody said about it, and I knew it wasn't the sheriff. I knew it was one of the guys, and I just can't remember which one. But that was a shot. So I feel like here are the things. I think people are supposed to take aim at their opponents and say what they can and can't do or what they would do differently. Was it a failure of leadership in terms of the escape? That's the way it's going to be framed because you're the leader. Point blank, period. And I believe had Sheriff Susan Hudson come out on day one and taking accountability for the jailbreak, this conversation would be different. And that bullet wouldn't be one that they would keep shooting at her. They keep shooting it because the first time that I know that I heard her take full accountability was at the city council meeting.
Right.
And I was hoping that what she said at the table at the council meeting is what she originally said when it first happened. Because the words came out of her mouth that day is what I would have expected to hear from the onset. It didn't happen like that, and now we're trying to fix it. But is the whole idea of a failure of leadership fair game to say she's the leader.
Right.
The jailbreak made it appear that the leadership failed no matter what. Just like if she's at home and something great happens, she's still going to get
Absolutely.
accolades for it because she's the leader.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I think two things could coexist. But what I will say is the women holding their own in this election season.
Absolutely.
Cycle. I'm just going to say that because I listened to what the women in the sheriff race had to say, and I think they're giving the public something to think about in terms of their vote. And this is not no slight against the men, but I'm just saying I'm a woman. I mean, you're good to say the men are holding their own, but yeah.
Some of the men are holding their own. Some are not. Some of them are in the seat or at the stand, but
some of it is theater. Because another thing that Sheriff Hudson said that stuck out as it relates to Murray is this whole idea of this is a serious job. Mm-hmm. And all of the things that he's saying that's garnered laughter from people, this is not a laughing matter.
Right.
Public safety is important. Who is at the helm of that jail is directly correlated to the safety of the general public. And so though he may have, some spirited responses in terms of what he would or wouldn't do, I think he believes based on his responses that the jail is a prison. And I think he believes based on his responses that it's not his job, even though the law requires certain things, it's not his job to educate or to rehabilitate. He said 3 hots in the cot. It's not an education facility. That's what he said at my I moderated.
Yep, that's where it's coming from. And
there's a distinct difference between a prison and a jail.
Yep.
And I think that at the baseline level, we have to understand what those differences are so that you can lead properly. And so, again, I think that there are folk in this race between Constable Ed Shorty, Murray, the incumbent, and
Julian Parker.
And Chief Wilfork and Julian Parker.
Who wasn't there.
He wasn't there, but he was at the Step Up one.
Right.
They're giving folk options to think about in terms of who they want to lead that facility. And I think that's what the forum is supposed to bring to the forefront.
Absolutely. And as you said, there were other races there last night, Delisha Boyd and Matt Willard. I thought that was a good segment where they both talked about their accomplishments, how they would approach things. I didn't hear anything that I would identify as a personal attack. It was really about governance.
Matt Hill was missing from that.
Matt Hill was missing from that one. Yeah.
I mean, you have two legislators. They've been in Baton Rouge fighting side by side at the same time. So a lot of the things that they are bringing to the table mirror each other in terms of expertise, in terms of showing up for community. I think that city council at large race is a good problem to have, and I've said that before, and I'll say it again. And then in the other race, you have Councilman J.P. Morrell,
Gregory
Pastor
Manning, and Kenneth Cutno.
And Kenneth Cutno. And so, again, you have an incumbent who has been very involved, very active in terms of what the council is currently doing. There are a lot of people who feel very good about the activeness of the city council, and he's right in the mix all the time. You have Reverend Manning, who touts himself as a activist or advocate of some sort, a community person.
And a collaborator. He used that word a couple of times last night, collaborator, which I think was his way of saying we don't need as much fighting at city council.
And Kenny Cutno speaks often about a lot of the initiatives that he's brought to the city that I didn't know about until I heard him say them. So
it was quite a list last night.
It was. I had not heard about it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he did. So IWO's forum was nice. I mean, the speed at which they got through it was necessary because there were a lot of offices that they did all at one time. And the fun continues tonight?
Yeah, the fun continues tonight. It's at Georges Auditorium. Tonight, it kicks off at 6 p.m. with the mayoral candidates.
Oh, they're starting with the mayor.
Yeah, okay. So they're starting with mayoral candidates, and I shouldn't say the mayoral candidates. It's starting with 3 mayoral candidates.
Okay.
Royce Duplessis, Helena Moreno, and Oliver Thomas.
Okay.
And then after that, it will be at 6:35, the assessors race with the incumbent Errol Williams, and then Cassius Peeler of the 3rd. Hope I have that name right. And then it'll be Freddie King's district, Council C, with Freddie King and Kelsey Foster. I'm not sure why there aren't other candidates with that one, but I do know that they're only, I'm pretty sure they're only including Democratic candidates, and people were invited. And then you've got Eugene Green's district, and there's 2 people for that. That's Eugene Green and Nooneyman, Belton Baptiste,
yes.
who was there last night.
Yes.
He sat through, I think, if not all of it, most of the forum last night. And then you have the open seat, District E, New Orleans East, Richard Bell, Danielle Christmas, Jason Hughes, State Rep Jason Hughes.
We have to go to break, but I just have one question.
Yep.
So in the District D race, Leilani Hino is not slated
scheduled
to appear. She's not scheduled. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll hear from Deron Cook. He's the president of the St. John Association of Educators. This has been a story that has been catching fire on social media. And I've been tagged in it quite a number of times because I'm an educator, and folk think that all things education I want to know about, and they will be correct. And this is one of the issues that I think we have to bring to the forefront, because unionizing is such an important thing, especially in public spaces. And when you have a traditional public school and you have a union to protect you, then who protects the people who are protecting the teachers? That's the question. We'll have that and a whole lot more right here, WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. An NOPD officer is facing charges accused of multiple crimes, including malfeasance in office and prostitution. According to the state police, Terrence T.J. Johnson was arrested in connection with an investigation that began earlier in the year. State police say Johnson is connected to Danette Colbert. That's the woman charged for the death of Kansas City sports reporter Adon Manzano, who was in town covering the Super Bowl. So an affidavit alleges Johnson would leave his post in the French Quarter and travel to New Orleans East in his uniform and allegedly paid for sex with a hair salon owner. Text messages cited in the affidavit link Officer Johnson and the hair salon owner to Colbert and Ricky White, both of whom are charged with drugging and killing Manzano during the Super Bowl. The documents say Johnson gave Colbert information to help hide her alleged prostitution, and in return, she allegedly connected him with women. Johnson is not facing charges in the death of Manzano. And the NOPD is investigating a pair of shootings, with one turning deadly. The latest happened just after 3 o'clock this morning in the Marigny near the intersection of Frenchman and Decatur Streets. Officers say a man was shot and pronounced dead at the scene. Meanwhile, police are also investigating a shooting in Algiers near Tolmy Street and General Meyer Avenue. Officers say a woman was shot in the leg around 1:30 this morning. She was taken to a local hospital for treatment. No word yet on her condition at this time, but anyone with any information on either of these shootings is asked to call Crime Stoppers. You know the number, 504-822-1111. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by Lowe's.com. Bank of America's Financial Literacy Challenge wants to give high schoolers real-life experience managing money without suffering real-life consequences. It's a special game that teaches students how to save, budget, build credit, and handle curveballs like flat tires and unexpected expenses. Shayna Stevens is a strategy and program manager for community banking at Bank of America, and she's seen the program work wonders for young people. And while Bank of America is doing its part, she says the public sector can do more.
What we've seen with being able to implement the game across the country, it works best in states where financial education is a requirement. And I think the more that we can change and ensure that financial education somehow is taught in schools, it really builds stronger community.
Pew Research findings show nearly 70% of Black adults say being debt-free is a big part of their idea of financial success. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am your host, Dr. Ashanta White. Shout out to my super producer, Nyron Sanders, my co-host, Will Sutton,
Good
and
morning.
my friend Cam. Hey, Cam.
Good
morning.
He's in studio with us this morning.
Let's hear that voice again.
Good morning.
All right.
We're going to talk to Cam after we talk to Mr. Cook. We will get into a conversation with Cam. And if you want to talk to Cam, the number is 504-582-9422.
Don't be shy.
That is, he's so my child. He is so my child. Mr. Super Producer, is that him on the line with us? We're getting ready to jump into conversation with Mr. Cook, and I want you guys to lean into the conversation if you have a question for him. Once again, the number is 504-582-9422. Good morning, Mr. Cook. Welcome to the Good Morning Show. You're on with Dr. Wyatt, Will Sutton, and my son, Cameron Hardy.
Good morning. God bless you all. Thank you for having me. And I want to just do a quick personal to my brother Will Sutton. Rue. All right. It's great to be in the building this morning.
Oh, Lord. We starting off with the foolishness early.
The bras calling in.
Shout out to the men of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Yeah.
So I have been watching what has been unfolding with you in St. John. A number of folk tag me almost daily about the story, or they send it into my inbox. And so I wanted to give you an opportunity to enlighten us here because, you know, your parish is a part of the 2nd Congressional District. So when folk are running for a race that includes the parishes, they have to come out there and talk to the folk in St. John. And so that is originally where I know a lot of folk from in the parish. And so you are the president of the National Educate. Which union are you the president of?
So I am currently the president of SJAE, that is the St. John Association of Educators.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I also sit on the board of directors and the executive board for LAE, Louisiana Association of Educators.
That's where it is. So where is the dispute? What's happening in your case that is making you feel like you are, for all intents and purposes, being targeted by the school board in your parish?
Okay, so this conversation actually goes back a number of years. I am an 11-year veteran teacher here in St. John Parish. And from the beginning, I've been active in the union. I can go back to the history of this union back in 1984 when they had a teacher strike, and it was the largest strike of this in the state at that time. And that strike actually led to us getting a CBA, or collective bargaining agreement, with St. John School Board. My mom was in a union organizer at the time, and she also helped participate in that strike. And so they actually give her some credit in helping to get the CBA. And here I am 40 years later being the president over that same CBA that my mom helped to lobby and strike for. And so I'm here now as an educator. I am very vocal in the community, but very vocal in the system as well, in making sure that our teachers and our students are getting the best service and product possible in order to give our students the best service possible. And a lot of times that is not welcomed. Back in 2022 at the at election time, we had open seats for our school board, and so I encourage members of our district to run for school board office. And so we actually had some people to run for office, and at the time, our board president had an opponent, and that opponent gave them a run for their money. And so right after the election, of course, just having a conversation, hey, look, no hard feelings. There was an election, and we want the best for our kids. Well, that person told me at that time, I don't F with you. I'm not going to be your friend, and this contract is going to fail on your watch. And so at that point, I noticed that not only was I a target, but the union was a target. And so at that point, again, I'm still running and working. And so we have had a number of superintendents in a very short period of time. While we were looking for having our superintendent search, I received a phone call from our current superintendent saying that he was actually thinking about taking a job and he wanted to get some information on the district. And so,
are you there?
He made
Oh.
Go ahead, Darren. You had cut out. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. He the current superintendent made it to the second round, and so he actually got in. Well, the moment he got in, things started going downhill, and at that point, he kind of decided to not have these conversations. And so I've been pretty much targeted in a way, and our contract has been targeted in a way where they would create confusion in certain ways to kind of attack the contract and try to change things in the contracts that we had just negotiated with the previous superintendent. And so, of course, I'm pushing back saying, hey, this is our contract. We are not up for another 3 years. We're going to have to work within the boundaries of this contract. And so from that, I've been targeted. I've been cursed at, and nothing seems to actually, quote unquote, work in our favor in terms of our treatment. So like I said, I've been cursed at, and that's the thing that a lot of the community is getting right now, where I got cursed at by the chief operating officer in front of students, in front of teachers, in front of administrators, in front of the assistant superintendent, in front of the superintendent. And he did absolutely nothing about it. His comment at the end of all of that was, I guess it's just another Monday.
Yeah, because I heard a recording. I assume you were in a meeting with some person, a woman from HR. Yes. And I believe you had like a union representation or somebody representing you in the room as well. And then the conversation just could not stay on target from her purview. She just was trying to go elsewhere with the conversation. And just listening to that, I felt it just felt very adversarial. It did not feel like it was somebody trying to understand how the order of operations happened and how to best mediate it so that it can move forward. It seemed like she had already decided which side of this thing she wanted to stand on, just based on the recording that I heard. So what happens for you? Like, what do you need us to do in terms of a listening audience, or those of us who are vested in the education of our children, and to make certain that people who stand in protection of them are also protected? What do you need from us?
So right now, I definitely need, we as the union, we as teachers need the backing of our community. We have come to a point where our community is going silent a lot of times when we know that things are wrong. Currently, I am unemployed because I was terminated for what they're calling grounds of testing irregularities. Mm-hmm. And so I won't get into that because we do have litigation and things happening, but I can say that without having a single disciplinary action in my files, a single write-up in my files, the superintendent decided to terminate me. And so, again, a lot of the community is hearing about this. A lot of the community is up in arms and they're supporting online. However, community, we need you to attend meetings.
When is the next meeting?
Say that one more time.
When is the next meeting for St. John's School Board?
So I will look that up real quick, but we need people to, and I'll let you know real soon, but we need people to show up to these meetings, because it's one thing to have these conversations online, and I love the support from the community, especially my students. That's the roses, right? When the students can come on and give you their approval. However, we need our members to come out and put these things on record. The dissatisfaction with the board. We need those things on record. Let's see. Our next meeting is going to be August 21st.
August 21st. What time is that and where is that?
6 p.m. at Gato Grandma Cafeteria. That's going to be in Reserve, and that's on the grounds with our central office. So the same grounds with central office in our meeting room.
Is your aim to get your job back? Like, what is it? What outcome are you looking for?
So definitely the aim is to get the job back. That's number one. Number two, our aim is to make sure that we have representatives. We have people in authority that is going to give our teachers a fair shake. When our teachers are being threatened with their job, if they speak out, that is not something that we need. We need our teachers to speak out. We need our students to be able to speak out. We need our community to get up and get on the ball. And so the conversation that the COO had with me in front of those teachers and students was to be an effing man.
Oh, wow.
Right? And that came out in front of all of those people when the superintendent did nothing about it. And so I have a museum that I opened up here that talks about civil rights and people in the area. And so I'm looking at the wall in my museum, and I have this I'm a Man poster on the wall. Mm-hmm. And so my mind goes to, you know what, let's bring it back to the garbage workers strike. Be an effing man, I'm a man. And I'm going to stand in front of your school board and with my I'm a man sign until we can have a conversation. And I think that the community needs to be on that approach. I protested before in front of the sheriff's office for 4 months on the airline. Again, we need to bring back our ways of social action. We need to take action publicly and put these people to shame, put these people to a point where they have no choice but to talk and to represent us.
Well, we here at WBOK absolutely support you in your efforts to not only get back your employment, but to also stand in support of you as you support those who are on the front lines in form of our teachers. Our teachers are so undervalued in the state of Louisiana. I think they deserve to be paid so much more, and I think the prestige on the profession has to return, and it's up to us to ensure that our teachers are respected. So thank you for what you do. And if there's any way that we can help continue to elevate this conversation, you're more than welcome to call in or come back in. But we appreciate you for joining us this morning to let us know what's going on in St. John.
How can people contact you? How can people contact you?
So I was just going to say, so God bless you all for this interview. Thank you for having me. You can reach me on social media. I'm on Facebook, very active. Darren Cook, DERRON COOK. And that's on Facebook. If you want to email me, it's dcook, S as in Sam, J as in James, A as in Apple, E as in Edward, dcooksjae@gmail.com. That is for my union email. And again, my phone number, 912-604-6348.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cook, for joining us, and we wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
Have a blessed
day. All right. Have a great day.
Look, y'all, I my heart always bleeds for educators, especially when injustice happens, right? Because to be terminated and you don't even have a write-up in your file. And then you talk about testing irregularities. Like I can remember, if y'all forgot, I can remember Dr. Rennell King, who blew the whistle about changing of grades, and they were able to fire him on that same basis of testing materials going missing, and then they were found and all of these things. And so we know that they use what they can to get you out of the way. But I believe all people in all professions deserve due process. And to just terminate somebody off of an allegation of a testing irregularity, and they've not even been written up, I think that requires a full investigation. So I wish him the absolute best. And if you want to know more about that, I mean, you can literally Google Darren Cook and get some more information as it relates to that. But those of you who are who are listening in only to talk to Cam, I guess it's time for you to talk to Cam. Miss Alicia said, can we hear from Cam? What's his name? Who is his mom and them with high school? Don't mistreat him. Nobody's mistreating the kid. Go ahead, kid. Introduce yourself to the listening audience.
Good morning. I'm Cameron. You know what I'm saying? The son of the Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. My school I attended, Edna Carr High School. I currently attend UL running track. I was answering the bullet points.
You was answering the bullet points? Who was your grandmother?
Sap. Sandra Wyatt. I'm sorry. I'm going to get backlash for that later today.
You going to get backlash for that? And tell people your mother, well, you are on a full track and field scholarship. And your genes don't start with you. Your genes don't start with me. Your track and field gene starts with your grandmother. Your grandmother ran for the New Orleans Super Dame. She still had records up in LB Landry before, all of the remodel of the school happened. And your grandfather is a Hall of Famer at Southeastern in track and field.
Correct.
Coach Wayne Hardy. So, talk to the people.
Fun fact, starting with my grandma, I ran for her coach actually early in my career.
Coach Kokomo.
Coach Kokomo. Great coach. Great atmosphere. I was really young. I don't remember a lot, but I definitely remember him knowing what he was talking about, for sure. My grandpa, look up to my grandpa when it comes to the track world. Another fun fact, he was my coach in high school, my junior year, my breakout year. So I give a lot of praise to my grandpa when it comes to track, for sure. Track runs in my blood.
It does.
On both sides.
But you're not just an athlete. You're a student athlete. Can
Correct.
you talk to the folk about this honor that you were just you was just bestowed upon you with this all conference, all academic thing? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I think I was named an All-American when it comes to academic honors in the NCAA.
I'm doing it. I'm beating you to it. I'm beating you to it.
And so I was one of maybe 8 young adults on the team to be named all academic. So it was a very big honor for me. I hold myself to a different standard, regardless of age. I believe that age doesn't dictate my maturity. So I want to be known as one of the most mature men in the room, regardless of still being a teenager or a young adult.
And how old are you, by the way?
19. I turned 20 in October.
October. What day?
October 14th.
Okay.
He's
my son's birthday is the 27th.
On the 14th. So I just recently went somewhere with my son, and somebody asked me, "Is that your old man?" I said, "This my baby. This my baby."
And oftentimes than not, it happens a lot.
It happens a lot. Like we were going to the airport because we were traveling. He travels when we were going on our visits for looking for a college, and he was in front of me, and so they called him to the line. But they called me to a separate line, and I was able to get through real quick. But they had a hold up for him for some reason, and the lady was like, "Ma'am, you can go, sir. You can step over here." I said, "That sir is my kid. I'm gonna step over here with him." She said, "That's your what?" I said, "That's my kid. Like that's my baby. I'm not stepping over anywhere." And he's going a different direction. No. And she was just stunned. Like, I don't know what that's about. But Cameron very much looks like my baby. Don't you think, Will Sutton?
Absolutely. And come on now. You know what that's about. You know what that's about when that happens. It's like, you too young to have a handsome kid like that.
That's my whole face, though.
Because you're keeping yourself together. Sister, come on now.
So, what are you studying at UL?
Sports management with a minor in business. I aspire to be a sports agent, but I also want to be an athletic director.
Okay.
He aspires to be a sports agent, but he wants to be an athletic director.
For sure.
All right.
For sure. And so do you just want to do something that marries like your passion for sports with what you want to do for a career? Is that the goal behind that major?
I felt like when I was picking my major, when I was choosing my major, it was more so of what do I feel like I didn't have to wake up and dread going to work for. I could be around sports all day. Doesn't matter what the sport entails. Football, basketball, it could be golf. I just like the competitive edge, the competitive spirit. I was growing up on that. I feel like that's why I go so hard in the classroom, because I want to be just as good or better than the person to my right or my left.
All right now. All right. I love it.
sitting over here like a proud mom. This is my baby. Y'all don't understand. Like and you know, and I know your grandmother is listening. And my mother has all grand boys. She has no granddaughters. My brother has a stepdaughter, but my mother's grandchildren are all boys. And my brother just recently had a baby, and she had her heart set on this baby being a girl. And oh my gosh, she was so heartbroken. She was like, another boy. That's all we make over here is boys. But your grandmother is listening, and we actually going. We're taking her to Baton Rouge tomorrow for this award ceremony for you, and I'm gonna just tell the people right now, Will Sutton, she had me polishing her toes last night.
All right,
because she gonna wear sandals to the event. Talking about, I said, girl, I don't know nothing about polishing no toes, but I'm gonna go ahead on and try. So that's what I was doing last night, polishing my mama toes so she can go to my baby's event. We're gonna have more with Cam, the young phenom, on the other side of the break. So we're gonna keep talking. I hope y'all keep listening. If y'all have a question for Cam, the number is 504-582-9422.
Don't be shy.
This is WBOK 1230 AM, where New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
It's an impact day across southeast Louisiana as a heat advisory is in effect through the evening. Highs climb to the low to mid-90s, but a heat index could feel like 105 to 110. Make sure to stay hydrated and limit time outdoors. And a few afternoon showers or storms are expected, mainly inland. Tonight, expect warm and muggy conditions with lows in the upper 70s. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Marking 20 years since Hurricane Katrina.
Tell me, what would happen if today was the last time you heard that drum beat or that trumpet blow? For those who struggle to get out and those who still struggle to get back, you are welcome to this place called home. If you remember, come home.
Share your story. Support the work. August 24th through 31st. A series of cultural, educational, and healing events. Visit katrina20.org to learn more.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Everybody, I am your host, Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. Shout out to my super producer, Naren Sanders, my co-host, Will Sutton, and my fruit, Cameron Hardy. He is joining us in studio this morning. And before the break, we were talking about Cameron and he made the all-academic team for his conference. So he's considered an all-American academically. But you also did well on the track this year. Mm-hmm. Can you talk to us about that?
I would add first team Sunbelt in an event. Mm-hmm. But I scored indoor and outdoor conferences for my team. We won indoor for the first time in 20 plus years, I want to say. It's been a minute.
All right.
It's been a minute. Mm-hmm. So I think that just speaks to what we're building over at UL. It's a family. Like I said, very competitive. I love that about the school. We every day at practice, we attend practice. No one wants to be less than the person to their left and the right. And I think that's why we came out on top indoor. Outdoor, we just still have a lot more to clean up. It's a different sport. Once you come outdoor, you have more events, more distance events, more vital running. I think we have to get used to the rounds also. So this year, I want y'all to keep notice because UL will be coming for sure.
All right.
And what do you think about your coach? He was coach of the year this year,
Coach
right?
Tommy.
Yeah,
Bet
Coach
on.
Tom-
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Mhm.
Yep. Coach of the year, indoor and out, I want to say. Very vocal coach. I think he takes a different approach to coaching. You know, you usually have your hard, aggressive, cursing, vulgar language coach. He's the opposite. I think he's very. I mean, and it has its pros and its cons. He's very gentle though. He talks to you. He communicates with you. He wants to know what he's doing that he can help and what he needs you to do so you can help. And I think that takes the team a long way. He respects us as young adults as we should be respected. So I feel like speaks to volume what's going on at UL also.
Well, shout out to
nice.
Coach
All
Tommy
right.
and Coach Badon. He earned my respect. He actually came to our home to have the meeting with us, and then he sent for us to come out to the campus. And many people don't know my son was having a hard time deciding which university he wanted to go to. He was initially leaning toward the University of Houston because there's an Olympian coaching there that he had an enormous amount of respect for. So Cameron initially chose to be a Cougar at the University of Houston. And when he called Coach Badon to tell him his decision, the very first words out of Coach Badon's mouth is, I just need you to think about this. Like, just give it some thought. There's no rush. Like, to sleep on it. You know, I really want you to consider that you've always been my number one. I want you to think about this. And Cameron came back to me and was asking me what my thought was. I said, I can give you, my thoughts, but this is still your decision to make. I've gone to college already. I've done what I needed to do. You need to be at a place where you are happy being at and the one that connects more to you. And so he took the night and he thought about it. And then he called Coach Carl Lewis over at the University of Houston and told him that he was deciding to go to the University of Louisiana Lafayette. So that's how he ended up there. But we have a caller on the line for you, Cam. Good morning, Pop. Welcome to the Good Morning Show. You're on with my son, Cameron Hardy. Pop.
Pop Jones. Oh.
All right. There you are.
How you doing?
Yeah, look. How you doing, Dr. Wise?
I'm great. How are you?
Will?
Good morning.
Look, I don't want to start a family feud. You know, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And look, I don't know who to start with, your mom or your son.
Whichever one you want, Pop. It's your world.
Because I don't know. Only thing is, he wouldn't be here because of you, and then you wouldn't be here because of, if it wasn't for your mom.
Right.
So you're talking chicken and egg stuff? Is that what you're talking about, Pops?
Oh, go ahead on, Will. Open my eyes. Open this old timer's eyes. Yes, indeed. Man, I seem like I know him. She talk about her son. I don't know which one to pick, her mama. And I can't leave my grandmother out either.
You can't leave Rosa B out, child. That's the matriarch. That's where it really all started with her.
Started, yes.
Yeah.
I said, boy, I have to call in on this one.
Well, we appreciate you calling in. This is he is literally.
Yes, I wish that young man all the success in the world.
Yeah, but thank you, Pop. I appreciate your call. And look, I'm gonna pop up on you today. Tell me where you're gonna be at around 11 o'clock, because they tell me you hang out in Algiers somewhere. Tell me where you're gonna be. I'm gonna come see you.
11 o'clock?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Gonna have to do a check-in.
Yeah, that's a hard question.
You don't know where you gonna be.
Dr. Wise, I'm gonna have
to. At 11 watching man
look,
at the house.
Dr. Wise.
What?
When I was jogging, that was one of my areas. I could jog from my house right to the fishing. That was easy. Because I used to run from my house to Swagman up on the expressway.
Woo! Yeah.
That was my run every morning. I think that's about 8-9 miles.
Oh yeah, that's a heck of
So
a
you
run.
live in the projects.
Mm-hmm.
In a fishing, that was a walk. That was a walk in the park for me.
Well, look,
So
I want to come see you today. I missed you one day. They told me you was at the community center. I was trying to pop up on you, but I missed you. So I'm trying to see where you're gonna be at, so I could come see you today.
I'm trying to. Well, what's up?
What's up?
I'm trying to figure that one out. If I'm trying
to look ahead to 11 and figuring it out, huh?
Yeah, I'm still don't know. I got some things to do.
Well, you let me know when your schedule is free, and I'm gonna come check you out.
Okay, all right. I will do that.
All right, Pa, appreciate you.
Good luck to your son, and I know oh man, he seemed like he awesome. Just right after, look like he's after his mama and his daddy.
Yeah, he's special. I love him. Thank you, Pop.
Yeah. All right,
Appreciate
we'll get a chance to get together.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know whenever
Dr.
you're
Wise,
free.
look, and we might have to have some lunch. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know I don't.
That
Anywhere
would
they
be
got
okay?
food, I'm coming.
All right, with Applebee's or something like that. That's all right.
I love Applebee's. I'll see you then, Pop.
Okay, we'll get together.
All right, you got it.
Okay, all right, good.
Take care. We got one more caller for you, Cam. Dr. Barnes, welcome to the Good Morning Show. You're on with Cameron Hardy.
Hey, Cam, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm fine. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself so you can know who I am. I am currently the commissioner of the HBCU Athletic Conference, former athletic director at Dillon University, and I got my start at UL Lafayette as a graduate assistant basketball coach.
Come on.
This is the person I need to be talking to.
Yes, I am the person you need to be talking to.
Yeah, he has aspirations to do your job at some point in his career.
Well, we got to connect, sir.
Definitely.
For sure. That's
why. Yeah, before the call ends, if you hold on, we'll make sure Naira gets your phone number so we can give it to Cam and we can connect you.
Okay. I definitely listen. I'm actually out traveling. I'm packing up, getting ready to head to the airport, so I can't stay on long. But I'm very excited about the pathway. Excited that you've been able to make your own decision about what you want to do for your travel. I mean, for your playing track. I was listening to the story about you decided to go to UL. But would love to talk about answer any questions that you have. About the career, and I got a great network, so would love the opportunity to get to know you a little bit more and connect you with some people who can be helpful.
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Barnes,
I appreciate you taking time.
Dr. Barnes, mention your book. Mention your book.
Oh, yeah, and I wrote a book. I saw it. So I wrote a book called Blazing Your Own Trail, Faith, Focus, and for Momentum and Leadership. It actually chronicles my journey from being a former student athlete to now becoming a commissioner. Well, yeah, you can get it on Amazon.
We need to get a copy of that book, preferably signed, so Cameron can have it at school with him. And we appreciate you calling in. I absolutely do. And I just want you to know that we have your contacts, so I'll make sure I connect you and my son, and y'all can stay in touch.
For sure. Thank you.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks for the text, Will. And
all right.
Cam, good luck and have a great season this year.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
appreciate
friend.
You. Look, Cam, you
make it the
you was a
connection.
little superstar this morning, huh, Cam?
Should have been.
Look, y'all, we have to go to break, but when we come back, we'll hear from Pamela Lander. She's the local president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. She's the local president. She's going to be talking all things home ownership and how to make certain that you leverage your wealth. And at the 8:20 mark, we'll hear from Pastor Chad Brown, surviving Katrina, the untold stories of New Orleans pastors 20 years later. And then at the bottom of the hour, we'll return with my son Cam, and we'll give you all of those dates for all of the upcoming forums once again, so that you can make one of them, so you can hear directly from the candidates. But we're going to go to break. We got to hear a word from our sponsors. But when we come back, you'll hear from the local president of NAREB, Pamela Landis, right here, WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with BIN News Now. Many black people are still reacting to the news of the Sonia Massey bill. It's changing the way police are hired in Illinois. Governor J.B. Pritzker signed the measure into law.
What happened to her was the very definition of injustice. We can't bring her back, but we can let her spirit guide us to action.
The measure was introduced after former sheriff's deputy Sean Grayson shot and killed a black woman inside her home in July of 2024. The state of New York is suing Zelle. Black Attorney General Letitia James filed a complaint and said security lapses on the banking platform have allowed scam artists to steal over $1 billion from consumers. Snoop Dogg's hemp-infused drinks are popping up in more markets. The drink company Iconic Tonics is now being sold in New Jersey, Tennessee, and Georgia. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
This year marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina changed our city and our schools forever. New Schools for New Orleans is sharing After the Storm, a special series reflecting on the past 2 decades of change and progress in public education. Through videos, personal stories, and a powerful interactive timeline and data dashboard, we explore how our schools recovered, transformed, grew, and what that progress means for our students today. Discover the videos, data, resources, and stories behind the 20 years of change at newschoolsforneworleans.org/Katrina20.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am your host, Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. Shout out to my super producer, Nyron Sanders, my co-host, Will Sutton, and my womb fruit, Cam, for joining us. Hey, Cam.
Good morning. Good morning.
Listen, if you're just joining the conversation, we've been learning all about my son. I talk about him so much, and he's here, y'all. I know y'all can see him. That is my baby. And as we wait for our next guest to arrive, there is a free screening of a movie.
Yeah.
Is it today?
Yeah, it's at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So, we like to give you all different opportunities to engage your brain and diverse views. So this is, the name of the movie is October 8th. So, of course, October 7th is when Hamas had the attack on Israel. So the movie looks at what happened after the attack and the anti-Semitic growth that has happened, not just in Israel, but in this country. So the movie is being screened at the Britannia Theater Uptown. The program starts at 9. The movie is at 9:15. There is no cost. You were supposed to register in advance, but I think if you go, they'll get you in there. Then after the program, Rabbi Katie Bowman from Turu Synagogue, and Lindsay Bach Friedman, Regional Director of ADL South Central, will do a bit of a talk back and engage the audience, those who can stay. So that's 9 o'clock at Britannia Theater Uptown.
Yeah, so that is free and open to the
Free
public?
and open to the public.
Okay, so we now have my friend Pamela Landers. She is the local president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, and she's going to be here talking to us about that community housing fair, how to build communities and generational wealth. Welcome back to the show, Pam. How you doing?
Great morning. I'm doing well.
Yeah,
Good
so talk
morning.
to us. When is the community housing fair? I know it's coming up. What date is
Yes,
that? What time
it is.
and where?
It is actually this Saturday. This Saturday, August 16th. Registration starts at 9:30. We're going to be at the Desire, Florida Multi-Service Center located on 3520 Industry Street, guys. So come on out. Registration starts at 9:30. If you've been on our website, if you've been on our social media, Nariba 504 on Instagram, it's okay if you haven't registered yet. Just come on out. Come on out at 9:30. Come get some free food. I mean, it's going to be awesome, Doc.
Yeah, because there's lunch and entertainment will
Yes.
be included. You will hear from local artist Casmay as well as local poet Jadai. Is that
Yes, Jade, yes.
Jade Renee.
Mhm, Jade Renee.
So the local poet, and this is also in, is it like a partnership or a sponsorship with State Rep Delisha Boyd and Councilman Eugene Green?
Yes, they're actually coming out because they represent the community. You know, this is their current status of political offices that they're holding. So they're coming out just to, be engaged with the community and support the community.
And I know both of them for sure have a background in real estate as well. So they
Yes.
are subject matter experts as well, talking about the issues that you guys are talking about: first-time home buyer credits,
Yes.
In education, real estate, investment strategies, development opportunities, succession properties, credit repair, and financial literacy, as well as one-on-one credit counseling.
Yes.
And you mentioned the last time you were here, and I want you to talk more about that. So you're offering one-on-one credit counseling at this event.
At this event, free, Doc. This is free. Free credit reports. Sometimes they usually pay to get these credit reports,
Right.
but we are offering it to our community for free. And I really got to give a big thanks to our sponsor, Bank Plus, because it does take finances to put something together like this, but we're opening it up to the community for free. No excuses. Come on out. See where you are in the real estate process. A lot of people are scared because they don't know if they can purchase a property or not. But we are here. We're going to have all the resources on Saturday to help the community move forward with that.
So what if you somebody hears about this, they want to go, they know they're not in real good shape, but this is a public event. They how can they feel comfortable about confidentiality and being comfortable that whoever they're talking to, that's where it's going to stay as opposed to kind of becoming a public thing?
I'm so happy you asked that question because our one-on-one counseling will be private sessions. You will be, in a counseling session with our NID agency, which is our housing counseling agency, and it will be one-on-one. So you do have a private area for that, okay?
All right.
So
Good.
it's gonna be awesome. So at the same time, you will also be in the classrooms. There are different classroom types, right? We have for first-time home buyers, we call it the ABCs of home ownership, right? Where we're gonna explain those contract forms to you. We're gonna explain about warranties and home warranties. We're also gonna have an insurance person in there kind of talking about insurance and the status.
That's a big
That
big
is
deal.
a big deal. Yes,
Yep.
that's a big deal. We're also gonna have a title rep in there, kind of letting you know the process of closing, right? And then we're also going to have our finances because that plays such a major part. We're going to have that in a whole separate class. We have 3 sessions going on. We have the ABCs of home ownership, and then we're also going to have the financing sessions, right, which where our lenders will be kind of talking about the credit as well. So if you do need any type of credit repair, that information is going to be shared there. We also have another session on wills and successions, right? What to do with Big Mama's house. That's the name of our session, what to do with Big Mama's house, because a lot of our people don't know, what to do with the inherited property or the right, proper, ways to go about acquiring inherited property. That's a lot of us lose our real estate.
Yeah, because we don't have the paperwork in order and move from generation to generation.
That's
and it's like,
right.
it's our house. It's like, well, actually.
Right. And you may have 10 to 15 people, you know, that could possibly have a piece of ownership in that house. And, you know, you just want to be able to have a better understanding. And this is what we're giving to the community, an understanding of the real estate process when it comes to that.
And do you have a lens on how many people you're expecting? Is there like a RSVP thing where you can kind of keep track, or is this your first one where you can gauge the number of folk that you're intending to help on this particular day for the fair?
Well, we are targeting the community since we are in that Desire Florida community, and we do have a job form for a registration link. So right now we do have a few registrants, but again, we are having it open. We're welcoming the community.
Yeah, I was just asking that because I know a lot of the times, even for the free events, there's like a registration so you can kind of gauge how many people to prepare for. Because I think a lot of folk just don't know these events are happening to be able to take advantage of them. And I know when I was in the home buying process, I went to every meeting I could because I was trying to understand, you know, all of the lingo, PMI and all of this kind of stuff. And I went twice.
Yeah.
Because it was free. And I wanted to just make certain that I understood when these conversations are being had, I was kind of aware of what they were talking about. And so just talk to us again about, and is this like going to be an ongoing thing? Or are you going to offer this in other communities? Is it going to be like an annual thing? What is your goal here?
Well, we're working on that, Doc. Well, I can't say as an organization we already have things set up in place yearly, what we're going to do with the community. Because what the National Association of Real Estate Brokers do, we have what's called Realtors Week. As you can see, I have my shirt on. It's a week of events to where we're out in the community. We have a big Building Black Wealth tour during that time where we're doing this as well, putting on housing fairs and things like that. But we do it throughout the year.
So how did you get here? What was your journey to broker status? Because I remember Pam, the realtor. You know, now we talk about Pammy, the broker. How did you get into this field specifically? What drew you to wanting to be in the real estate business?
Well, Doc, you already know I do have a passion for teaching, for educating. I do come from the classroom as an educator. And right now I just feel like instead of teaching kids, you know, math and science, I'm actually educating adults on how to build wealth through real estate.
And the teacher never really leaves you. Because I'm certain a lot of the tools you had in your toolbox teaching kids, you could apply to making certain that folk understand what home ownership looks like, what the benefit versus renting, that sort of thing. Because there are a lot of people who don't see a benefit in home ownership. They rather rent. That's just their choice. But a person like you have the expertise to show them where the equity is and where the, you know, your biggest asset more often than not is your home.
Yes.
And there's not really that same asset, you know, when you're talking about renting. And I mean, you're paying somebody's mortgage. It's just not yours.
I was just going to say that, Doc. I mean, it's all about a mindset, and it's about educating, you know, the consumer. Hey, you're going to pay somebody's mortgage, so are you investing in yourself or are you going to invest in someone else? And that's how, you know, we kind of break it down for them to look at if they want to rent or own.
So what kind of financial literacy advice would you have for a young adult who has yet to establish credit, has yet to even venture out into that space? What is some tips you would have for a person just starting out and trying to figure out the steps to get into a good place, financial wise, and home ownership wise?
Financial wise, I would say definitely get educated. We have this open to the public. You notice there is no age, you know, preference or anything, because I kind of look at when I was teaching as a boomerang effect, right? We still go back into the schools. We still teaching financial literacy to the schools. We go as young as middle school. Okay, we're getting a program right now together to even get to our elementary kids because we want to be able to teach it on their level. Right? I mean, we do have high school students, college students. I mean, they are making money and they don't know what to do with the money, right? So we're teaching them how to have financial literacy to be able to make their money work for them, being able to invest their money.
Well, I mean, since we have a few moments left, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask this question, where did you go to high school?
Oh, I went to the esteemed Etna Carr Magnet High School.
Oh.
Yes. Please say the magnet.
Please say the magnet.
All right now.
Listen,
a leading question.
I'm just saying because we have a baby cougar here.
All right.
He's also an alum.
Oh,
This is my legacy in terms of Carr. And fun fact, Cameron did not choose car first. Let's just be clear, Cam. Lean into the mic. Tell him where you wanted to go initially.
Warren Easton.
He wanted to go to Warren Easton.
Only for a fresh start, though.
Okay.
I knew I was gonna know everybody at Car. It's a feeder school to my elementary school.
So he wanted, because all of his friends were going to Car, he wanted to like venture into something different.
And then I seen the track. Sign me up.
All right.
And Karen, he walked up to the room, Pam, and he said, I know I told you I wanted to go to Easton, but Car built the new building, and I think I want to go to Car. That's literally how it happened. So nobody really knows that. Like, I didn't choose for him to go because his father went to St. Augustine. And his mother went to Edna Carr, and I told him he was under no obligation to choose either. And so he chose Warren Easton, and then Carr built the building, and that was it.
That was it.
That's
something, because you have purple and gold in your house. I have purple and gold in my house as well. St. Augustine and Edna Carr. And
well, you surrounded by 2,600 up in here, baby.
Yes.
It's literally an obsession at this point.
But it's an excellence. You know, you want to be taught from excellence. My opinion, I don't know about you, Doc, but I in my opinion, Edna Carr breeds excellence.
I'm with you when you're right.
I'm
with you when you're right.
I agree.
So and that's what this organization is about. The National Association of Real Estate Brokers provides excellence. Okay, excellence to be able to come out into the community. Democracy in housing, you know, this is what we promote.
I'm actually proud of you. There are a number of Edna Carr graduates. I mean, just the city of New Orleans breeds excellence. Let's be clear. Like there are some phenomenal people that come from different parts of the community that are doing phenomenal things. We have our little fun, back and forth with the schools, but there are a number of Edna Carr graduates who are in the real estate space. And I think it's always good when you can pick up the phone and call somebody that you went to school with that has expertise in the thing that you're looking for. There's not anything that I've ever needed that I couldn't call an Edna Carr graduate and ask. We are. And I mean, I feel like McDonough 35 graduates could say the same thing. Booker T graduates, St. Augustine graduates, McMain graduates, like they can say, like, if there's a need, there's somebody in the realm of our alum that can answer that need. And I think we need to do a better job of pooling our resources so folk can tap into our network to make certain that we're taking care of each other. So it's good to know, because every real estate question I have, I call you.
That's right.
Every single one of them, I don't care what it is. I don't have, to me, it's no dumb question because I don't know.
No.
So I'm calling. And every education question people have, they calling me. That's what we should do for each other. If there's a law question, I'm calling Jessica Hawkins or Ryan Thompson, right? I'm calling these folks, or Kimmy. I'm calling Kimmy. I'm calling because those are the experts in that lane. And I think if nothing else, that's what I've also taught my son. You don't have to know it all. You just have to know the people who know with the information that you're looking for, and don't be afraid to tap into that. Everybody should want to be a value to their community. And I think what you're doing in this space brings value to the community, because they may not know how to navigate this space, but you know. And because you're bringing this knowledge to the community, you'll eventually teach them, and then they'll know, and they can pass it on, because that's what it's really about.
That's what it's about.
So the Community Housing Fair, Building Communities and Generational Wealth, is happening Saturday, August the 16th at 9:30. It will end at 2:30. It's at the Desire Florida Multi-Service Center, 3520 Industry Street, New Orleans, and it is an informational session. You'll get to hear from people who are experts in the field. The local president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, Pamela Landers herself, will be there. Rep. Delisha Boyd, she's also an expert in the real estate space. She will be there. They're partnered by Bank Plus. Is powering this event. It's an event that you do not want to miss. So if you are looking for the answers to any financial literacy question, any home buying question, any credit repair question, this is where you need to be Saturday, August the 16th, the Desire Florida Multi-Service Center, 3520 Industry Street.
Clarification. I'm not a realtor, I'm not a broker, but I believe this is true, so relying on your expertise. When you say first-time home owner, you don't actually have to be first time if there's a certain number of years that have gone by. Is that correct?
And that year, that's 3 years. So if you hadn't owned a home in 3 years, you will be considered a first-time home buyer again.
Right.
Yes.
So the current home I'm in, I've been in there for 14 years. You telling me I could go back to the table and be a first-time home buyer again?
Well, you're still holding that mortgage.
Oh, so let's be
So
clear.
you can't be a homeowner at all.
So you're saying 3 years have to lapse between when you previously owned to now that you want to own?
Yeah, let's say you call me and you want to sell your home, right? And we sell the home 3 years later.
I want to be a first-time home buyer.
You can be a first-time home buyer.
Okay.
We'll find any programs that fit your needs.
Okay, I just wanted to ask. 'Cause, I'm just saying.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us again.
You're welcome.
And once again, thank you for bringing this invaluable information to the community for free.
Yes.
Because a lot of people have expertise that they charge for, and I'm not knocking that. But a lot of the times we have to make space for community service by way of our expertise, and I thank you for doing that.
You're
thank
welcome.
you for joining us, Pamela Landers.
And listen, we're not finished. We are not finished because we're coming back, and we're going to have national to come back in November, and we're going to do a Black Housing Summit.
Well,
so have me back to talk about that.
When that happens, you have to promise to come back and let us hear about the Black National Summit.
Yeah, from our national, we're going to have a Black Summit.
A Black Summit.
Black Housing Summit in November.
Absolutely. Please, you got to come back. Yes. You've heard from Pamela Landers, the local board president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, with this housing event that is taking place this Saturday, August the 16th, 9:30 a.m. It is free, y'all. They will have food and entertainment and invaluable information. So if you have questions, they have answers. Stop by 3520 Industry Street on the 16th and ask for your girl, Pam. I appreciate you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Shout out to the one and only Edna Carr Magnet, and my son graduated from Edna Carr High School, so that is 3332 4400. Link up that good purple and gold. No shot at Will Sutton and the Purple Knights of St. Augustine High School. We appreciate you, Pam. And y'all stay tuned. When we come back, we'll hear from Pastor Chad Brown talking about surviving Katrina, the untold stories of New Orleans pastors 20 years later, right here, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
All day long, y'all.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. An NOPD officer is facing charges accused of multiple crimes, including malfeasance in office and prostitution. According to the state police, Terrence T.J. Johnson was arrested in connection with an investigation that began earlier in the year. State police say Johnson is connected to Danette Colbert. That's the woman charged for the death of Kansas City sports reporter Adon Manzano, who was in town covering the Super Bowl. So an affidavit alleges Johnson would leave his post in the French Quarter and travel to New Orleans East in his uniform and allegedly paid for sex with a hair salon owner. Text messages cited in the affidavit link Officer Johnson and the hair salon owner to Colbert and Ricky White, both of whom are charged with drugging and killing Manzano during the Super Bowl. The documents say Johnson gave Colbert information to help hide her alleged prostitution, and in return, she allegedly connected him with women. Johnson is not facing charges in the death of Manzano. And the NOPD is investigating a pair of shootings, with one turning deadly. The latest happened just after 3 o'clock this morning in the Marigny near the intersection of Frenchman and Decatur Streets. Officers say a man was shot and pronounced dead at the scene. Meanwhile, police are also investigating a shooting in Algiers near Tolmy Street and General Meyer Avenue. Officers say a woman was shot in the leg around 1:30 this morning. She was taken to a local hospital for treatment. No word yet on her condition at this time, but anyone with any information on either of these shootings is asked to call Crime Stoppers. You know the number, 504-822-1111. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Shout out to my super producer, Nyron Sanders, my co-host, Will Sutton.
Good
in the studio right now with us. We have Pastor Chad Brown of, what's the church?
Full Gospel.
Full Gospel. That's not like Beyonce. There's just one name, huh?
Just one name.
Yeah, just one name. Well, thank you for joining us and welcome to the show. There's a new book.
Yes.
New book out, and is it entitled Surviving Katrina?
Surviving Katrina, the untold stories of New Orleans pastors 20 years later.
Okay. And I don't think anybody has talked about it from that angle in terms of Katrina. And
right.
I think this is the first. I like books now. And you have contributing authors on here: Fred Luter, Deborah B. Martin, Charles E. Brown, R.C. Blakes Jr., J.D. Wiley Taylor, and Jonathan Everett. This is a heavy hitting list. Yeah. Shout out to Pastor Everett out of Algiers. That's my Fisher boy. We from the same project.
Oh, all right.
Absolutely. And so I'm excited to hear more about the book. What made you want to memorialize the story from the perspective of pastors post Katrina 20 years later?
So I am a fifth generation preacher and fourth generation pastor in my family. Bishop Charles Brown happens to be my father. And so growing up in New Orleans my whole life, I had a firsthand look at what my dad went through. And I don't know, I was asleep maybe 3 weeks ago. And I woke up at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was just sitting on me heavy to write a book and capture the stories about pastors who went through this tragedy as everyone else, but how theirs was twofold, because while having to care for themselves and for their family, they also still had to care for their flock that was scattered all over the country. Mm-hmm. And I realized that nobody has really ever asked the question, what about the pastors? We've talked about the politicians, we've talked about FEMA, we've talked about first responders, but what about those who came back to not only rebuild the city, but rebuild the people?
I mean, but you guys were operating like first responders. I know a lot of people call their pastor first, like you, because we believe our pastors can do all things.
Absolutely.
Through Christ, right? we believe that. I know that when there's a crisis within me or around me, my pastors, I'm calling them.
Absolutely.
And so, many of us look to you guys as first responders. So I think it's a wonderful thing that you've been able to memorialize what that meant for you guys. And what are some of the stories that jump out as you're talking about this path post Katrina?
Wow. Well, one of the main stories that, as I was documenting it, came from Bishop R.C. Blake's. Shout out to New Home Family Worship Center. He opened up. Now, every last contributing author, they were all very transparent, and you all are going to see them in a way that you don't typically get to see pastors, that is vulnerable, emotional, and raw. And one of the things that Bishop Blake said was that for 3 years, he didn't hear from God. He said, for 3 years, man, I was preaching recycled messages and just old sermons because I didn't have a fresh word. He said, and God still used me, but, I was depressed. I was angry. I was sad. And he said, and people would come up to him after every service on Sunday and say, Bishop, if it wasn't for you, I don't know how I would have made it. He said, and I would go home they were just gathering at University of Houston at the time. He said, and I would go home and sit in my chair and wonder if this was the night that I would absolutely lose my mind. And that was just heart-wrenching because it just speaks to one of the things that my dad used to always say growing up is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so just that little segment of his chapter spoke to how much he cared. And then there's Pastor Fred Luter, who was also in a very deep depression. He said, in fact, his wife had begun to call his friends and say, hey, you guys got to check on Fred. He's not doing well. I've never seen him like this. And then he had an encounter with his wife where she looked at him and said, now listen, for years you've been preaching about faith and holding on and trusting God. And when times get tough, you got to lean in and grab some strength. And he said she looked at him square in the eyes and said, it's time for you to practice what you preach.
And so have you seen with your book, have you seen any overlap from any of the documentaries and the stories being told from the perspective of those who were rescued from roofs and wading through waters? Do you see any of that paralleled in your book?
I don't see any of that paralleled in my book, but many of them recall stories of their members who were stuck in the aftermath. In fact, Bishop Blake tells a story about a couple who didn't make it out of their home, and so they ended up in their attic. And while in the attic, the wife had an episode and died in the attic. And the husband had to remain there with her for several days until he could break through the roof. And these were members of his staff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Listen, I have purposely stayed away from any of the documentaries as it relates to Katrina because I feel like there's still a lot of unaddressed trauma in our community. And I think this will just reopen Pandora's box for a lot of people who have not yet even healed because they've not sought help or they've not allowed themselves to fully feel what they experienced. And I was watching a young man from Houston. He did a video and he opened it up by saying, we owe the people of New Orleans an apology.
Wow.
He said, I know I was young at the time when they had to come into our communities because they, were fleeing the floodwaters of Katrina. He said we treated them so poorly.
Wow.
Like in our schools, they like we were bullying them.
Yeah.
They were fighting. And he was like, and let me say this. He said we tried to bully them. He said because it's something about the people in New Orleans. They were not scared. They were not backing down. But we treated them so poorly. And now they're watching documentaries, actually seeing what those folk actually endured.
Absolutely.
And then to have to go into schools and communities and be treated like a refugee or
Absolutely.
or like some person who does not belong in this country. It was an additional trauma stacked on top. It felt complex, like complex trauma.
Wow.
But this is a young man. He's every bit of maybe 26, 27.
Wow.
And he's recalling 36, 37. He's recalling, when he was a teenager and how these things played out from his childlike perspective, and now he's looking through it from a lens of an adult. And he said, we owe the people of New Orleans an apology. Do you feel like from where you sit that governments or leadership around from the country's perspective, do they owe the people of New Orleans an apology?
Well, absolutely. I don't know how much good it's going to do 20 years later.
Yeah.
It's like wrongly convicting someone and then just saying,
No
oops, we were
compensation,
wrong.
yeah.
No compensation, sorry we took 20 years of your life, but go ahead and be free. But absolutely, just the fact that being labeled refugees, because my family and I, we fled to Houston.
Yeah.
And they called and treated us like refugees. How can you be a refugee in the country that you were born in. You know what I mean? And so just labels like that, and then watching this newest documentary where Chief Eddie Campos just was so transparent in how things just kind of broke down and how rumors were spreading, and there were so many things that were not true because comm was down. They couldn't communicate with anyone. So whatever you heard, you just took it at face value and just said this must be true. And so, yeah, they owe us an apology because they helped to spin those lies and to highlight the negative aspects. You know, when you have thousands of people trying to escape with their life, you're going to have some conflict.
Yeah.
But why just hone in on the conflict that's in the midst of all of this peaceful gathering? You know what I mean? The 3,000 people out there, and you want to only talk about the 10 who are fighting.
Yeah.
You know, and that and New Orleans has always had that sort of label of being, you know, rough like that. But we are resilient people.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, we are in conversation with Pastor Chad Brown. He's a respected leader and now author of the inspiring book, Surviving Katrina. We're talking about his journey, lessons learned, and his upcoming book signing. When is the book signing, Pastor?
August 23rd. Man, that's around the corner.
Yeah,
August 23rd is around
It
the
is.
corner. We will be at Saint Noir. I still don't know how to say that word. Noir.
Noir.
Noir. All right, there we go. Saint Noir. On the corner of Saint Roch and something. I haven't been up in that area in so long, but it's a new cafe, really, really good. Excellent coffee, by the way. I just had some. But we'll be there from 2 to 4. We're gathering the authors to come for a book signing. And, those who order their books now will be able to bring their books to the book signing. And then others will be able to come and purchase a book and get their book signed by the authors, these pastors who came back, man, because they care not only about their city, but about the people.
And it's not only a book. I'm sorry, Will. It's not just a book. You call it a movement. But what how is it reaching people today that you consider it a movement?
Well, there's such a stigma that has been attached to pastors, especially black pastors. And I thought it was just important to humanize them so that people understand that, hey, you know, pastors are humans as well. We are flawed. You know, we make mistakes. We don't cross out all of our T's, dot all of our I's. But most of us are committed to our assignment, and our assignment is very selfless. It's about building other people. And as you said to your own testimony, that when you're in trouble, you call your pastor.
I don't touch a mic. I speak often in spaces where I have to talk about whose tutelage I'm under, whether it's a vigil, whether it's a funeral. I don't open if I'm the mistress of service at a church function. I always talk about my pastor, because whether I'm physically in his church or not, I carry his wisdom, you know, as I venture into spaces. And so I absolutely love my pastor, Leroy J. Phoenix from Victory Christian Center International, and First Lady Cindy Phoenix. Absolutely love them.
Say that 3 times fast.
I can't because he is also came from under the New Home umbrella. Our church was New Home West Bank at one point, and now it is Victory Christian Center International. Call it the V Spot. So I can, for short. But I know the importance of being under sound doctrine.
Absolutely.
I know the importance of being able to have a spiritual guide. I do know it.
Yeah.
And so I don't take for granted who my pastor is, not just to me, but to an abundance of other people. And so I also pray for him as well.
Yeah,
I think it's important for people to cover you guys as well. Yeah, absolutely. I've watched my pastor go through all sorts of things, injuries, and he had a boot on for so long, took the boot off, the boot came back. He had short hair, grew his hair, cut it off, locks, no locks. He's been, we've seen it all.
Going through those phases with him.
Absolutely. And he's never wavered from his obligation to the people he to the flock that he shepherds.
It's an assignment,
So I appreciate the work that you do in that space as well. But Will had a question.
Actually, I just wanted to help you out a little bit. It's at 1128 St. Roch.
1128 St. Roch.
So that's the address, folks, and the phone number is 504-777-3761, and that's going to be on August 23rd at 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Yes,
so
sir.
you'll have the folks who authored some of these pieces, and I was just breezing through, and it's like these are some amazing personal stories.
Yes, sir.
From these pastors, and it'd be really nice to be in that space.
Absolutely.
Talk with them and hear.
I think too, Pastor, there's always been a lot of conversation about the order of operations of Hurricane Katrina, because there are a number of people who have firsthand experience by being here who said the floodwaters came only after you heard this big, huge boom. Right. And I know what my mom's recollection of it is, and how it transpired. And so does your book touch any of the stories about hearing the boom, or how Katrina actually took place from the perspective of those people who endured it?
No, my book covers only the journeys and the experiences of what these pastors went through. That just coincides with what many pastors went through during that time. This book is not as much about the storm itself and the damage that the physical storm did, as much as it is about the emotional damage and anguish that the storm caused, the rebuilding, the being scattered. Many of them say that they didn't learn how to text until Hurricane Katrina. You know, texting was a new feature. And so being able to just kind of gather their people. And the one thing that I want to emphasize is that as pastors, we lost our homes too. We lost our churches that, you know, many just labored for 25, 30 years at that time to build, gone. And then all the people that you care for lost everything that they had. And the selfless act is this: I had to put my own loss aside to come and tend to your loss.
Well, I think what Katrina did for a lot of us is it stripped us of all the worldly things, right? All of the things that make us different in terms of the community we grew up in, the kind of car we drive, the kind of money we make. It just put our humanity at the forefront, because either you wanted to be a vessel to help folk, or you just did it. And when you see helicopters flying over folk and ignoring them, you know, it to me, it made you, it really amplified who this country is and how this country sees poor people, poor Black people. And I did a series for CNN called TV on the Edge: Moments That Shaped Our Culture. And it was about Katrina and Kanye West's comment when they were doing the telethon.
We all remember that infamous comment.
You know, and so that's what they were talking about, and they were giving us the opportunities to address that. Tank from Tank and the Bangers was also a part of that series, as was I. And the comment was, how did I feel about Kanye saying George Bush doesn't care about Black people? And I just told him, you can take out George Bush's name and leave a blank, and there's so many
people
names
you can put that,
and entities you can put on the line and say they don't care about Black people.
And those documentaries that have recently come out, they certainly depict that. I've seen them. I've seen the newest 5-part series, and very, very heart-wrenching. But there was a moment in one of those in the documentary, I don't know which episode, but a chaplain got up. They gave him a bullhorn, a megaphone, and he got up and stood on this ladder type of contraption, and hundreds of people gathered around. And you know what this preacher did? He began to minister to those people. I'm talking, this is after the flood waters. They're stuck at the Superdome. It's hot. They don't have water. They don't have food. But there was a pastor who was situated among that, who, again, put aside his own anguish and said, I got to minister to these people before they go crazy. And
saw an opportunity.
He saw an opportunity and he took it. And I was so glad that the documentary captured that, because it's important that people see the job that extends so far beyond Sunday morning. Forget Sunday morning. Pastoring is a 24/7.
No days off.
I grew up in it. My grandfather, my great-grandfather, my father, and then myself. My brother was a pastor. So, you know, I come from a long line of pastors. And the one thing that I've seen that they all have in common is that level of commitment that goes beyond the four walls of the church to help care for the people. And so that's what this pays homage to. And then they listen, they don't just leave you feeling sorry for them. You know, there's hope in this book. And what I love about this book is at the end of the book, we also begin to address trauma, because that's something that we don't talk about both in the church and in the Black community. And so we have to start dealing with trauma.
Well, I appreciate you being here, Pastor, and I appreciate you giving us some insight as to what our spiritual leaders endured
Yes.
In the wake of Katrina. I also hope that there's somebody out there who wants to tell the story of the unsung heroes, like
Yes.
the folks whose names we don't remember, who commandeer school buses to bus people to safety.
Absolutely.
I didn't even know. I knew one of my cousins was involved, Jabbar Gibson. I did not know my cousin Dan Martin. He's since passed away. He just recently passed away. He's actually one of the funerals I just recently did in the last year or so. But him passing away before I even knew that, he also took a bus full of folk to safety. I did not even know that he's my relative. I didn't even know it until folks started recalling their stories about Katrina. I think it's so important to pay homage to the unsung heroes who actually put their lives on the line to ensure that other folk made it to safety. There's a story about police drawing guns on my cousin as he was trying to bust people out of the Fisher Housing Development, to get them to safety. Because if they don't come with those buses, those people are stranded back there. And so just as you were able to memorialize what the pastors went through, I'm hoping that somebody follows your lead and creates a book that amplifies the stories of the unsung heroes who didn't have names or titles, that the city knew. But they were heroic nonetheless.
Heroes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So I thank you for being here. I thank you for your service to this community, not just being the author of this book, but what you do spiritually
Thank you.
in the church house for a lot of people. And I'm telling you how important you are to the community, because I know how important my pastor is to the community and how important he is to me.
Yes, wow.
I don't care when I reach for him, and I don't care the last time he saw me. He loves on me every single time, and he sends messages of encouragement because he knows I'm out here trying to save the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and so my absence from his church does not keep me absent from his mind.
Absolutely.
And so I do appreciate that. I appreciate you.
Thank
you for being here. And if you want a copy of Surviving Katrina, the Untold Stories of New Orleans Pastors 20 Years Later, how can they get that book, Pastor?
You can go straight to survivingkatrina.com. survivingkatrina.com, and you can order as many books as you desire, and they will be shipped to you where you are. And once again, August 23rd, you can bring your book with you to have it autographed and signed by the pastors who are on here: Pastor Fred Luter, Dr. Deborah B. Morton, Bishop Charles E. Brown, Bishop R.C. Blakes Jr., Bishop J.D. Wiley Taylor, and Pastor Jonathan Everett.
Because you're a pastor and you're so connected to God, I ain't going to say nothing because you were just doing my job. I was going to do that for you.
Oh,
but
sorry.
You're a pastor. I'm going to let it slide. You know God by his first name.
Thank you, Lord.
Listen, I want to thank you, Pastor Chad Brown, for being here. I'm eager to read your story. And if there's an update or anything else in the future you would like to share, this seat at this table is always open to you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for being here. We got to take a break, but when we come back, y'all going to hear more from my womb fruit, Cameron Hardy, on the other side of the break. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
It's an impact day across southeast Louisiana as a heat advisory is in effect through the evening. Highs climb to the low to mid-90s, but a heat index could feel like 105 to 110. Make sure to stay hydrated and limit time outdoors. And a few afternoon showers or storms are expected, mainly inland. Tonight, expect warm and muggy conditions with lows in the upper 70s. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060. Hey everybody, it's Kimber White Dupree.
And it's Graylin Bryant Banks from the front porch. We're coming up next.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And we are back, and it is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am your host, Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. Shout out to my super producer, Naira Sanders, my co-host, Will Sutton, and my womb fruit, Cameron Hardy. If you are just joining the conversation, you missed a nice one. We were hearing from Pastor Chad Brown with his new book, Surviving Katrina, The Untold Stories of New Orleans Pastors 20 Years Later. They have works in here by Fred Luter, Deborah B. Martin, Charles E. Brown, R.C. Blakes Jr., J.D. Wiley Taylor, and Jonathan Everett. And there's an event. Well, when is the book reading signing?
It is August 23rd, 2 p.m. at St. Noor.
And you can come
and that's
to
the 1128 St. Rock.
1128 St. Rock, and you can come with your book and he will sign it. So if you want to get you a copy, please think about going to that event. But you can also go to, he said, a website.
SurvivingKatrina.com.
So,
and order as many as you like, and then bring your book on
or as
August
many
23rd.
as you could afford, I guess. Huh?
Absolutely.
Somebody want to talk to you already. Cam Raquel, good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Show. You're on with my son, Cameron Hardy.
Good morning, Dr. White.
Good morning.
Good morning, Will.
Morning.
Good morning,
Cam.
Baby Wyatt. Too cute. Too cute. I just wanted to call to say good job, Dr. Wyatt, on your baby.
Thank you.
And your baby is a special baby because your baby, he reminds me of my deceased sister that I lost maybe 4 or 5 years before Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
And he shares her birthday. He's her birthday twin. She's also October 14th.
Okay.
So yay! I know
Yay,
she's
yay.
a certified good baby. Good baby. And Dr. Wyatt, don't get mad, baby Wyatt, because his first selection choice for Warren.
I promise I was not mad.
It's still black and gold, Dr. White. It's still purple and gold.
It is still purple and gold. Yes, ma'am. I am
but
not mad.
that was coming from my sister because she was a student at Warren Easton. She was actually a Eaglet as well too.
Okay.
So that's where the spirit came from. She was trying to push him towards there. Okay.
Well, I appreciate you calling, Raquel, as
Yeah.
always. Thank you for calling in, my
All
love.
right.
Have a blessed one.
All right, you too.
All right. Listen, I'm gonna be a little messy right here because even though his first choice was Warren Easton, he know eagles don't fly in the jungle.
There you go.
That's why he had to get his mind right, right? That's why he had to get his mind right. He wanted to make it. So no, but I was not mad, Raquel. I wanted him. I thought it was important for him to create his own path forward. And because his father went to a school where he probably wanted him to go, I went to a school where I most likely wanted him to go. I didn't want him to be in a tug of war between his father and I. So I allowed him. I would say, look, you choose. And he initially chose Warren Easton, but he ended up being an Edna Carr Cougar. And I cannot be more proud. My son graduated from my beloved institution 25 years after I did. And I'm extremely, extremely proud that he is my legacy. But we got a few minutes left, Cam. What do you want the folk to know about you before we have to go?
I was gonna add, but since you put me out there, I was just gonna say it's just a one-on-one with my mom. I just wanted to say thank you and how much I appreciate and I love you. You already know how we locked in, but I just want to put it out there for everybody. I love my mama dearly. A mama's boy to the end. I don't care how old I get.
All right, now.
Everything we've been through, I just thank you for just never giving up on me, giving up on us. Yeah, before I get emotional. It's been a journey for sure, and every time we've come out on top, we're still coming out on top, and I thank God for that, and I thank my mama for that, for just never making me feel anything she's going through. Regardless of the situation, I've always gotten what I've wanted and everything I've needed. So.
Well, I appreciate that too, son, and I love you as well. And I could not have done it these last 7 years without the support of those of you who love me. A lot of you kept me grounded, kept me focused, and I can promise you my ladder will be greater. And when it hits, I'm going to be certain to thank all of you who have been so instrumental in this journey. There are a number of my friends who listen in every single day. You know what you mean to me. You know who you are to me. I don't have to single anybody out because it's a list and I don't want to miss anybody. But if you are near and dear to me, you know who you are. You know what you mean to me. I tell my friends all the time how much I love them and appreciate them, so I don't need a reason to do that. And as far as my mother is concerned, I need you to know that everything that you've done in this lifetime helped shape me into the woman that I am today. So I am always talking about you because I'm always very proud of you. And as of August the 20th, my mother will be 33 years clean and sober from drugs. And so that is something to be celebrated. I have never shied away from my mother's story. I've never shied away from her affliction because I do believe that it happened to her. So it did not have to happen to me or any of my siblings. And so my mother went through things so I don't have to. And every day of my life, I try to honor my mother and the decisions that I make and the choices that I make. And I just always wanted to be proud of her. My goal is to retire her. And I hope that God blesses me to see enough years on this earth so that I can fulfill that mission. And so, the same way that my son loves on me, that is the same love and affection that I have for my mother, but not just my mother. I talk about my aunties often here on the show because I need them too to know what they mean to me. One of my aunts doesn't have children. That is my auntie Linnell, but she helped raise all of us. My auntie Linnell was the very first person who believed in my pen. And what I'm talking about is the way that I write. My auntie Linnell was one of the first people to say, you're special. And I can remember being under Pastor Wiley at his church when I was a teenager. There was a writing contest that I won. And the title of the piece that I wrote was "The Hand That Picks Cotton Now Picks the President." I was a teenager when I wrote that, and I still remember it. My auntie Linnell used to have it memorized. That's how much she supported me and believed in me. So it's not just my mom. It's not just my aunts. It's my grandmother, my uncles, the lineage of people who poured into me, whether it was Fox Playground, Edna Carr High School, a number of people put this gumbo together to make Dr. Wyatt. And shout out to my elementary school principal, Miss Carol Eggerlang. I cannot thank her enough. All of the teachers at William J. Fisher Elementary School. There's so many people to thank for this journey that I've been on. But I promise you, if God continues to give me life, I will continue to work as hard as I can to not only make you proud, Mama, but to make you proud, son. And so I want you to live in the fullness of your purpose. You know, you don't have to be anything that I am. I want you to be what I am and more. That is my goal for you. That is why I work as hard as I do. So thank you for making the job of motherhood easy for me, because you are a blessing.
For sure.
And I tell you that every single day. We have to go, y'all. But, I promised y'all some good news, right? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me, Will. IWO tonight has
at George's Auditorium. They had a forum last night. Tonight is forum number 2. I'm not going to go through the names, but the mayoral portion starts at 6. The assessor portion starts at 6:35. The District C portion starts at 7. District D portion starts at 7:25, and the District E portion starts at 7:50. George's Auditorium, Dillard University, 6 p.m.
And on Friday, the Council at Large Division 2 forum will take place at Madonna 35 High School. That is 7 p.m. Friday, August the 15th. The Council at Large Division 2, and that is put on by the Urban League. And Council District C is happening at L.B. Landry High School on Tuesday, August the 19th at 7 p.m. And I will have the pleasure of moderating the District C forum happening at L.B. Landry, and we'll continue to give you those forum dates as they continue to appear. So right now we have IWO tonight, and then on tomorrow on the 15th you have Council at Large. That is put on by the Urban League, happening at McDonough 35 Senior High School. And then on that Tuesday, August the 19th at 7 p.m. at L.B. Landry is the Council District C. So we'll continue to bring you those dates as they appear. There's a laundry list of them, but I will bring them to you so that you can stay aware. But the news that I have to share with you, you're going to have to tune in tomorrow morning.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
You're going to have to tune in tomorrow morning.
Can we roll into a couple of minutes?
We like cliffhangers.
Oh, come on.
We like cliffhangers. You're going to have to wait till tomorrow morning. That is the directive I got. So that's the directive you getting.
Oh.
But you will get the good news, okay?
All right.
I promise you that. Y'all stay tuned up next for my favorite show, The Front Porch, with Geraldine and Kim, as far as the Good Morning Show. Me, Dr. Ashanta Wyatt, my co-host Will Sutton, and my super producer, Nara Sanders. We're going to see y'all tomorrow. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about
all day long.